Should be going.
Oh my God, it's the first time I've actually sat back. Oh, in a couch, and I can't do
And
it.
then you're too far back.
Oh, jeez. What a freaking Monday.
I decided to go outlaw style today.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I went kickback old school spray wash.
Old school spray wash. That's like old school.
Old school.
Old school. Yeah. I guess I should go old school one of these days and
do a Cajun.
Do a Cajun one, yeah. Well, I wear the hat every now and then, so that kind of counts, right?
Oh.
But I don't know who it is. Hey, just so y'all know what we're going to talk about tonight, we don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about all kinds of stuff, and I think it's going to be fun. Me personally.
I tell you what, it's been a couple of days. So, and so the hair is thinning, receding, and all over the place. So you know what? Don't care.
Wash on. We'll talk a little bit about coping techniques, maybe if we get time. That was something that Landon had brought up earlier. So, but I don't know if we'll have time. But we'll try.
Techniques.
Yeah. Well, I actually Ray has been getting me to drink every now and then because I don't usually drink that much. But I did run out of Jack Daniels, so I have some Parrot Bay rum.
Woo! Hey, we're missing the special backdrop. Hey, Papa Puff.
Papa Puff is in the house. That's awesome. Yes, we're missing the special backdrop. I'll be trying a couple different spots and moving around and all that kind of stuff. And
Dad just called myself a 5 head. That is a 6 or 7 head at this point. This is way past a 4 head or a 5 head or anything like that. So.
And he's trying to have messy hair, but he doesn't have enough to be messy.
So, Baz is already asking. All right, so Baz, I'm going to go ahead and post. Let me see if I can here.
Yep, we're going to be talking about the huge convention tonight.
There you go. There is your.
You got to post it up.
The comments right there. And we will be talking about the huge tonight. So
we'll talk about a lot of stuff, and the huge convention will be one of them.
Man, it has been a week, and to catch any new listeners up.
A week? It's been a freaking month.
Yeah.
I mean, this month is only a week into it. I mean, it's been 40 days worth of just, crap.
Well, Wes, what's happening? Yeah, Jay's one of the follically challenged folks. Yeah, he's not gonna. We can't joke with that with him. So
yeah, not too much. Dave, I'm drinking water because I'm still working. I need to retire like you guys. Ha ha ha. Dave, well, you only got what, 3 or 5 years?
Doesn't Dave have like a $2 million a year contract? I mean,
no, I think it's 6. I think it's like $6 million for 5 years. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Dave? Whatever. Yeah, you ain't retiring anytime soon, brother.
Yeah. You ain't gonna have the chance. Actually, now might be the best time, but you never know. Anyhow,
it might be actually sell that contract out before you actually have to do it.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing.
All right, so huge convention. August 18th is the classes that are going to happen ahead of the huge convention.
The pre-show convention, yeah.
The pre-show convention, pre-show stuff. And I'm glad to see that Jason Ayers is on here because we're gonna pick on him a little bit during the show. We're going to talk about the plant and property class. We're going to talk about because I think that the value of that. You know what? I forgot to do that. I didn't pencil out the value of what we're going to get. Did you? I didn't.
Pencil out the value? I mean, to me.
Well, you got the. Go ahead.
According to my House Call Pro, since I started going on House Call Pro, the value of plant and property protection has been about $5,700,000 and some odd dollars.
No, yeah, but I mean, there is no, to me, of course, we're biased on it, but to me, the plant and property class is, I mean, there is no value. I mean, there is no way to explain the value of it. It can be tremendous. So, I mean, $5 million, $4 million, $1 million, $20,000, $10. it's up to you if you use it, all that kind of thing. But anyhow, no, what I meant by that was if you sign up for the plant and property protection class at the huge convention, we're going to not only give you the presentation there at the huge convention, but you're also going to get the online portion of that as well. And then what else are they getting, right?
Well, well, not only online. I understand the online isn't something we recorded once. We still go in there, and whenever you and I sit there and talk, and like, oh yeah, we need to add this to it, we go in there and add to the plant and property. So there's all these corollaries to it that keep going on. So it's our hope. One of the things that we want to do is plant and property is never just like one place in time. It grows and grows and grows, and it's never going to actually end, because we know that we always learn new things. So our online version of it continues to grow. So one of the things that we're offering, if you take in Atlanta, Georgia, at the huge convention, you get 1 year of online plant and property protection. Now, if you want to share that with your crew, you can. If you want to share that with your techs, absolutely. We hope you will, actually. I mean, this is not one of these things like, no, you got to pay us more money to give this to your techs. Not at all. We want to share it out.
All of the classes that you buy are yours to use, and you can share them with your, I mean, that's actually kind of the purpose and the point, is that you can do trainings right there in your office, and everybody's there, and everybody can be a part of that.
You know what? And Jim actually said, if you signed up for it, absolutely, I'd be more than willing to do that. And we could go ahead and let them do the online version of that. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, why not? I mean, that sounds good.
Well, yeah. So we should talk about that, because I don't want everybody signing up. Look, I would agree to that, but not give away the extra free stuff until after the class, because the problem is we only have, just so everybody knows, we only have 50 seats that we can sell, and so I would hate for everybody to take it online and then not show up for the class, and then other people that wanted to be there for the class not get to have their chance.
But the other big thing that we decided, about a month ago, we were discussing this, is we're going to give as a little deal sweetener, as an incentive. We're going to actually do the government sales class. You get that online free as well. And that's been one of the biggest, hugest, most amazingest classes that we have out there.
And that is an awesome class.
Yeah, it really is. It's in fact, we even did a fundraiser for the guy that got me into government sales in Spray Wash Academy, because he's had cancer and has had a real hard time at stuff. And you know what? He's amazing. He's amazing.
And the cost for that class is $329 that you're getting for free. So keep that in mind. I think, and I think the price is too cheap on that one. So
it is. It'll go up eventually. At some point we're sitting here just kind of bringing stuff up.
So anyhow, plant and property protection. If you are not a pro member, it's at the huge convention. It's $4.99. If you're a pro member, it's half price. Whatever half price of $4.99 is. Don't make me do the math. And then you're going to get the government sales class at the same time. Plus, you get both of them that are online that are going to go with it. I guess we're going to go ahead and do you'll get the plant and property online version now, and then you'll get the government sales class after you attend the show there in Atlanta. Because we do want everybody to show up for the show in Atlanta. We don't want you to just purchase the plant and property class without the intention of going to the huge convention, because the huge convention is the only thing. So look, the bad thing. I'm gonna throw out the negative of the huge convention real quick. I hate to do this, but I kind of got to, and that is they got this bald-headed, bearded ugly, nasty. I don't know who he is. He's just got this red beardish thing going on, and he's got this bald head. And he's got it all shaved. And, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I had a cigar in his mouth or whatever. Yeah.
Well, you realize also, actually, I figured out his deal today, and I actually texted him. It is Pride Month in June. I'm just saying, and he's on a diet. He's working out. I'm just going there. I'm going there, and I'm not.
Have a little bit of a lisp, doesn't he?
But Bobby, he's got the fluffy dog. He wears the muscle shirts. He's dropping the pounds right now. So, you know.
And I can't really make fun of his name though, can I? That's hard to do. Anyhow, back on track. Yeah. Huge convention. Okay, one more time. So huge convention, you're going to get the sign up for the huge convention. The link, where'd the link go? You moved the link out.
I moved the link. I'm sorry. Damn it. My bad. Here. You know what?
We're gonna also put the link back up on Spray Wash Academy and Spray Wash Pro. And then it'll also be on the huge convention page somewhere, I guess. So we're gonna send them the links over and all that.
Well, there's really three. Also, remember, there's really 3 classes that we're offering at the huge convention. And first off, I want to, it's been 4 years that we've been doing classes at the huge convention, and not only is a huge convention the premier event in our industry, and back whenever Thad, who's watching us too, created that, we felt so honored. Whenever you and I, you remember, I mean, literally, that was the owner of Plant and Property, where Thad said, we want something incredible. And you and I have been going around to these 100, 200 person events and doing, our little classes. Now, all of a sudden, we get a stage of 1,200, 1,500 people. And what do we have in that first class? 100 people or so that signed up and go, we want to learn this. And then everybody said, oh my gosh, this is an amazing class. And it was the springboard for Plant and Property. And we felt so good about ourselves that first time that we ever did that class, where we made it an official class that it was amazing.
And it has really been a staple, and so many people have taken it now. And I mean, everybody loves it. And, that's the one thing about going online with it now. I mean, I don't even know how many hours our online class is now. And it is, like Ray said in the beginning, it's growing all the time.
Yeah.
I need to add a section on organic pigment paints. That issue has come up a couple times this week for me so far. And so I'm going to add that in. I just added some video on the mushy stuff.
One of the things that's amazing about that class too is we have members of the academy and dedicated members like Jerry Peterson, Gerard Peterson, as many of you know, and we go into Spray Wash Academy, which in your opinion is the get it right way
over there.
Mine and your opinion is premier forum out there on Facebook, and I'm really honored because Gerard Peterson, he's a cranky old shit, and I love him to death. I mean, he really is. But we're like the one forum that he actually posts in besides his own forum, and because he realizes the quality of it, and he even said, "Hey, I had this problem this past week. And he shared it." In Spray Wash Academy. And I mean,
the electrical thing.
How incredible. Yeah. And it's not his, we actually talked, you realize he's caused a fire in that person's house and he still sent them a bill, and he's still damn well saying, you're going to pay my bill on this house because that fire was not his fault. That fire was the fault of a crappy electrical installation. and a crappy inspection where they didn't really check the stuff out well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is part of the problems that are out there. And this is part of the problem you and I talk about in Plant and Property of take the pictures, inspect, go, see, what's going on. I mean, it's amazing.
Who else was it this week? I don't know if you saw it or not, but somebody else this week, somebody else had posted about there was some they sprayed something on some brick and it stained the floor or did something, but they went back to their before and after pictures and realized, no, it was actually there before they sprayed. They thought they had caused this damage, but they hadn't. It was there. So before and after pictures, I mean, I know we talk about it all the time. Yeah, there it is. It's John Nielsen was the one that did that. He went back and checked out his before and after pictures, and boom, hey, we didn't do this. That's awesome. So before and after pictures are so much a needed thing for you. It's not even funny.
Here's an interesting question. So is there an affordable way to reclaim dumpster pads? And is there a special filter I may need? Contract on dumpster pads. Any ideas? Well,
I'm looking for a contract.
Any contract that I would have probably wouldn't be good for you. I mean, it's just contracts are worth the paper they're written on. I mean, they go state by state according to that law. Mm-hmm. Affordable way to reclaim. Yes and no. You need to show the effort to reclaim. You need to have your baffles and your berms down.
It'd also be helpful to know what state that person's in. Not that theoretically matters.
Absolutely.
If that's California, I'm going to say, look, you should reach out to somebody there locally, because they've got some pretty strong restrictions on what you can and can't do, from what I understand. And that's where there's going to be a difference. If you're here in Louisiana, I'm going to say, pump it wherever you want. They don't seem to care.
I just literally, 2-3 weeks ago, I did the EPA building here in the Capitol. And, it's funny I get the pushback from the bureaucrats going, oh, bleach is bad. And the scientists are going, what else is going to kill this nasty black crap all over our building?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you get somebody that's, if you get somebody that's realistic about it, everything's usually good. But the problem is right now we're not getting that. We're not getting reality in a lot of the things we do. So we have to make sure that we're protecting ourselves in aspects that we didn't even think we would have to be worried about.
John has sold a paint job on, and I'm assuming he's talking about the Plant and Property. John's one of those guys, you and I met him through a former association that I don't know if is around, anymore. And John's one of those guys that took education to his heart and realized that, wow, it's not about, understand this. Plant and property protection, while it is about plant and property protection, it's not just about plant and property protection.
Business protection.
It's about selling. It's about selling scientifically. It's about how to talk to your customers, how to talk to, oh my gosh, all these people the way you change your scripts, the way you sit there and say, wow, they gave you a bid online. I don't understand how they can give you a bid on Google, because how do you see the landscaping that's out there? How do they know about, grandma's petunias that she left you in her will that you have, planted around the back side of it? There's so much more to it than just, look. I promise you, I'm going to put it like this. If you're bidding on, and I understand everybody's business model is different.
A lot of guys are bidding online now.
A lot of guys are bidding online. I will be the first to admit, I live in a very small market. I mean, I'm 200,000 people in Tallahassee. My metro market, my 5-county area is about 349. I will kick your butt if you go out there and just bid online in my size. I will.
Even in my market, look, the Baton Rouge market is somewhere around 1 million people, and I'll kick your butt as well by going out and educating and talking about the plant and property protection. And not only that, but look, it's part of my sales process. Like when I'm there, so people always ask, I mean, how in the world are you booked out as far as you are when you got more trucks than anybody else?
Yeah.
Part of that is me going out to those jobs and selling on site using that plant and property. And believe it or not, I'm one of them guys. I admit I'm guilty. I'll say, I'm sure you're getting lots of bids online. And this is why I'm here to show you about this, this, and this, because these are things that I can't know without coming here and looking at it. So sometimes people are going to look at that. They're going to bid on it. They're, without really knowing what they're doing. So I encourage you to use somebody that has come out here to look, even if it's not me, when I know I'm probably the only one.
And I know I'm probably the only guy that's done. I mean, understand, and so your market was 4 times the size of mine. I hate to say this because you know that the deep down inside I'm a very humble person, and I'm really not trying to be an arrogant ass at all. I mean, you know me that I truly am a servant of mankind. I'm a servant of God, and I again, I'm not going to go on a Christian tangent here, but I really do want to help people on this, but. It's kind of crazy whenever you sit there and say, you've got 2 guys sitting here, that guy and this guy who've both sold their businesses for retirement money. And we're saying you should do this. And these are the things that are going to help you. And these are the things that are going to make you successful. We're really not screwing with you at this point. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying, oh, yeah, this is the only way to be successful, because no, it's not. I mean, it's not. There's lots of, there are people doing houses for $99 that consider themselves successful.
And to qualify that, we even go out of our way to make sure everybody knows there's a heck of a lot of guys out there making a heck of a lot more than we ever did and probably ever will. So we're giving you the full end of the spectrum. There's the $99 guy. There's the Scott Stone guy who's way above us. There's, I mean, you have to decide where it is that you want to be. And I think that's one of the things that we probably preach the most.
Somebody has it registered with Facebook user, but I mean, read that, Doug. I'll be right back.
Sometimes I bid online. Sometimes I meet and greet. It just depends on the customer and the job. Another thing, depending on the job and the customer, sometimes it's better to show up with your rig so they can see what you're working with. I win a ton of deals like that, definitely. So look, if you show up with especially if you've got a wrap truck, you got your company shirts on, you got your company hat, whatever it may be, you look respectable. I think Ray Burke's probably the only one that gets away with Crocs really, really well, but him and Tim.
Well, you're wearing Crocs, not me. I can't stand them. So
you also, I want to bring this one up because Josh is saying meet, greet, and qualify, and that's absolutely part of it. Absolutely. You get to meet them, you get to greet with them, you get to qualify them as to whether or not you even want them as a customer. Jason Ayer set up above about, hey, not only that, but also you get to upsell from there, right? So if you go there and they said, I want my house washed, now you can work on the driveway, you can work on the windows, you can work on the roof, you can work on the gutter clean out. And I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, I don't need that done. And then you say, oh, you don't need that done? And you show it to them. And they're like, oh yeah, I guess I need that done.
Leslie and I had some great quality time together in Iowa. Not only did Leslie come, he sent his text to Plant and Property, And here's one of the things that's amazing about this now. What we're offering is that not only can you take it live, but whenever you take it live, you get it to give to your techs,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Absolutely.
And
I'm going to tell you what, that it is something that will continue to grow. As we said, I don't know that class can ever be completed. I don't see how it ever can.
It never does.
The industry is always changing.
It never completes because it's always growing. There's always new stuff. I'll tell you what, here's something I'm about to add on there because I just bought Ring cameras for my house. And now I know how the Ring bracket works on there. I'm about to do a video of my house and how you pop off the Ring camera. I never realized this about the Ring camera, but there's a special thing, at least on Generation 3 Ring cameras, how you can pop the Ring camera off, just like we've talked about over in Spray Wash Pro before on the little square cameras. I don't know if they're Rings or not, but the square cameras. And remember, we put tape on them. I did a video on this in Pro. We put tape of position 1, 2, 3, and 4 around the house. We pushed the button on back, removed it from the bracket, went and put them over on the hood of the truck. So, you know, the easiest way to protect property like that, remove it out of the spray.
Get it out the way.
Literally. So now I know how to remove Ring cameras, at least the Generation 3, pop the bracket out. I'm going to go stick it over on the hood of the truck.
It's actually another good way to do a follow-up with your customers if they have Ring cameras, because now you can also say,
they aimed right. You know, I want you to know we took them down.
Exactly. You get to do that follow-up call with them and say, hey, you know, we were able to, you know, we pulled your Ring cameras off to make sure that they were fully protected, and just want to make sure they're lined up properly for you. You know, if you want to look at them right now while we're here, hey, happy to adjust them for you, you know, exactly. Or you can do the follow-up with them later on, whatever you want to do.
Here's
so
a good
from experience, would you
it.
try to get into commercial on year 2, 3, or is residential the bread and butter? Ray, what are your thoughts? I know what my thoughts are.
You know, my thoughts are my commercial funded my retirement account.
Absolutely.
Commercial paid off my house.
Absolutely.
My residential made my payroll. My residential kept me out. My residential. I think a solid company, and I mean, unless you're a very special company, unless you're a very special scenario, you need a blend of both. There are very few people that can handle only commercial or only residential. Now, God knows commercial pays better than
but it also has different working hours. It has different, I mean, there's so much different when you're dealing with commercial sometimes.
Tomorrow
it has to be more.
I start my morning off tomorrow at 7 o'clock at a Zaxby's. I will end my day tomorrow at about 2 a.m. at a commercial rest stop along I-10 for the Department of Education. So, yeah, commercial has some kind of strange hours in there.
So if it were me, I would say, yeah, really, at the end of year 1, you should start looking at your commercial jobs. Yeah. Use the residential to fund your business. Okay, what I mean by that is just like Ray was saying, you use the residential to make payroll every week, to keep your guys occupied, and to, I can tell you a lot of times on like house washing and such, I didn't make all that much on house washing, and that wasn't the important aspect of it for me. So most of our money was made in the roof cleaning and or the commercial jobs. So we use the residential to keep, or the house washes and the residential stuff to keep our guys busy, keep things going, and then you transition over to that commercial for the evenings or the weekends, and that's where you make the money.
There's 2 comments I want to discuss. You know, and first off, the one that I just had up. I'm gonna go back. Had a competitor not wrap, proper protection, shell out $60,000 to repair the fire system. My only insurance claim that I have ever had was against a fire system. and it was a crap fire system that did not have a good drip loop. It was in the walls, but the only insurance claim, I mean, knock on wood, well, more, but still, but the old company ever had was against a fire system. They're not cheap. Yeah. They're not. It wasn't 60, but yeah. And even on that one, we did everything possible that we could, but it was in the walls and it was kind of unavoidable. We put a lot of water. Now,
and that's also another important thing, is that sometimes you can follow all the protocols, all the procedures, everything, and still have a problem. What was it? Chris Coons that had a deal where because he was spraying a block wall, and the water followed the channels on the inside of the blocks to get down to the electrical. I mean, virtually an unavoidable thing. Chris is very good at what he does. So
this is awesome. Look at Jerry Peterson. What just happened to Gerard Peterson? You know, I mean, it was a crappy home inspection and a bad homeowner before that faked repairs. And he literally just lit a house on fire. So Chris said prefer to do in-person estimates, one-man show. So busy he can't often do them. You know what? Doug and I have both been through this. This is decision time. I mean, do you grow or do you not? This is literally one of the reasons that I wound up hiring people, because it was me and a helper, and then it was me and two helpers, and then suddenly it was me taking the helpers, dropping the trailer off in front of the house and saying, I'm going to go out and do estimates. This should take you 2 hours. I'll be back. And then it was me hiring another, me and another assistant with those two guys. And I bought another truck. And then it was eventually me saying, Tanya, please come to work with me, because, we can make this something absolutely amazing. But yes, I get it, Chris. I totally get it.
And Chris, let me tell you this. I just coached somebody through this exact same scenario. And one of the things that I'm going to tell you is you really need to set aside the time to be able to go out and do those estimates. So, and when you're a one-man show and you're so busy, how do you do that? You have to schedule it, okay? So I encourage, because I think what a lot of guys do, they schedule it for the afternoon. Okay, I'm going to go do this house wash in the morning, and then I'll go do, after I get done with this, this, and this, then I'll go and do that. But now I'm showing up all dirty, stinky, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to encourage you actually to go in the morning, make that your first thing, make that maybe the first 3 hours of the morning or an entire day. I like to schedule Fridays off. Never taken a Friday off. That's not what the point is. But I schedule those Fridays off so that we can do the makeup stuff, or I can go do estimates, or whatever is needed to have that extra time to do it. And if by some chance there's nothing to do, well, there's always something to do when you own a business. But then that way I can just chill out and take the day off, which doesn't matter.
There's something here that Maz just made a comment, and this is very important to check with your insurance, because there's been a lot of guys who have gotten very, very, very hurt on their insurance about, command, control, and custody of their insurance. And that's something we should talk about for 1 second here, So,
care and control, yeah.
You guys understand that the control part of your industry, of your insurance, there's a lot of insurance policies that have clauses in there that say you're the expert. If you screw something up, you're still liable for that. You're still liable for, let's say that you pop a fire system off for $60,000 in damages. You're the expert at what you do. You should not have caused that problem. So you need to check with your insurance on whether they cover that or not.
And one of the things that you want to do is you want to, let me make sure everybody knows Ray and I aren't insurance agents, right? Give you this disclaimer.
Absolutely.
But look, one of the things that you need to do is you also need to be in touch with not necessarily the agent, but the underwriter. because an agent, sometimes what they think, they actually don't even have the right answer. So the underwriter, if you're not sure about something, ask the question in an email to the underwriter and get it back in an email. That way it's in writing. This is what it is. Because an agent can say, oh, yeah, that's covered, that's covered, that's covered, when it's absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and what you're saying right there, another very, very, very important thing is to don't assume something is covered by insurance. You need to have it covered in writing. You know, I lost a truck 2 years ago, and I had said, oh, I want this, but my rig that was truck mounted in the truck was not covered. Was not covered because, and I thought it was, but no, it was not covered. You need to have, and we had discussed with the insurance agent having them all covered. Oh yeah, we'll make sure we get you a quote for that, but we never executed that quote. So do not assume that your equipment is covered. And like you just said, Doug, you have it in writing for what is covered and what is not.
Not only that, but then another thing that a lot of people don't realize on the insurance side of it is that a lot of the policies talk about what you're working on, and what you're working on is not covered. So as an example, if you are cleaning concrete and you are surface cleaning that concrete and you take the cream off of the concrete, it might not be covered. The reason it's not covered is because that's what you're working on. You're a professional and you're supposed to have
absolute royalty. We've got Mike Tesaria. Oh, I love his grappa.
Fair custody and control. Yep.
Grappa is some of the best. Michael, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. That speaks words. But you know, he's absolutely right. The care and custody control. I mean, it's do you have that or not?
Mm-hmm. All right, so back to the huge convention real quick, so we can make sure that can you put that link back up again?
All right, so the link. Hold on, let me see if I can just do a Control V. So right there, sign up.
All right, there's going to be 3 classes at the huge convention. The 3 classes at the huge convention there's going to be a basics, which is an introduction to soft washing and roof cleaning. Then we're going to get into our plant and property protection class. With the plant and property protection class, you're also going to get the online version of the plant and property class, plus you're going to get the government sales class online, okay? And then the 3rd class is going to be, I got 3 fingers up already, and I'm going for the 3rd class. So the 3rd class is going to be a very special. Jason Ayers is going to join us in that class. And what that class is going to be is rig building. So we're going to talk about building your rigs. Now, the important thing to note is that is only for pro members. We have 50 seats. So as pro members, you'll have to sign up for that class. And, you know, we only have 50 seats. So
honestly, if you're a pro member, we're going to find a way for you to make you stand in. We're going to get a bar in there. We'll have a little happy hour there for pro members. You know, we're gonna make this fun. Like you know, this
is going to be like one of our mastermind meetings. We're going to have some drinks in there. We're going to have a little bit of fun.
Cleaning class we did a couple of years ago, you know, where we had, 50 guys in there that were pro members, all discussing the issues of metal roofs. And we had Joe, remember Joe came in there who spent 20 years of his life, making
25, 26 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And probably pass out a few beers and stuff at that time. But
that's one of the great things about this industry too. We can look around, and especially with a lot of the pro members that I'm noticing is that there are so many of us that have so diverse backgrounds, right? Like Joe, for a good example, having a deep background in metal roof coatings and being at the metal roof class was fantastic. It was phenomenal to have him as part of it.
He spent that many years in a steel mill and coatings,
doing that.
They made metal roofing, they made fascia and soffit. I mean, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. For the Facebook user, it is going to be in Atlanta, and it will be on August 18th for the plant and property class and the Yeah, I knew he would be thrown out. He'd be bringing beer.
You know what? I would love Scott is qualified to teach, except for the basics, because Scott has been so long since he taught the basics. Scott would be welcome to teach whatever, just like we had the whole Facebook marketing class down in Orlando. Scott's welcome to teach whatever he wants to teach with us, because Doug and I are sitting here going, yeah, we sold our companies, blah, 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 blah. And Scott literally does per year more than you and I sold our companies for.
I thought he was doing it per month.
Yeah. Yeah, per month he does.
Yeah.
He's kind of
awesome. He sends you know what? Scott's problem is he sends these porn pictures to us all the time. He sends us these pictures of these beautiful new rigs that he's got. And it's just like, yeah, that's only that much. And that's only that much. And yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see him. And I love to see some of those pictures. So,
so let's talk about the cabinet in the background. I'm bending over so you can see it. So
there you go.
What cabinet? All those were swallowed by a python. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That was all of those were lost during the last flood, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I remember that before you got those Ring cameras, that guy broke in and he stole all your guns. I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me about that. That's
a picture back there.
Yeah, that's a picture. That's because he missed them so much, he made a blow-up size look-alike thing. And so there's actually no glass in the cabinet. It's a picture, and it's just stuck there. And so it looks like they're there, but they're not there.
How can we sign up for Pro? Doug, do you have the sign up for Pro on there?
Yeah, I think it's in the, let me see.
In comments.
I think it's in the banners.
It's not the one that says, oh, here it is. There, I found it. If you want to sign up for Pro.
Are you?
Show. All right.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'm hitting. Are we hitting it at the same time or not? Or
yeah, we were. So yeah, it's courses.spraywashacademy.com. That will get you all the classes that we've got, and it'll get you into Pro, get you to what we've got going on for Pro, and all that.
I'm not seeing it on there. Oh, there it is. There we go.
It's at the bottom. It's scrolling across the bottom.
Yeah.
I think we were both looking for it right there where it says BazViz. I think we were looking for it there, but it's down at the bottom. So courses.spraywashacademy.com. That's where you can sign up.
Remember, we're still going to help you whether you're not or not, but there's a lot of benefits for being a pro. I mean, I go on to my jobs live. I do my water towers live. I do my hospitals live. I live my life live on Spray Wash Pro. So
sometimes
what's going on,
And I got to be honest. I mean, I just had this discussion with somebody else the other day. I mean, that I am going to always give preference to pro members.
Absolutely.
I mean, I try to help anybody and everybody I can, but sometimes we get so many phone calls, get so many texts and so many emails, and the ones I'm always going to return first, and the ones that I might hang up with somebody, not hang up on them, but hey man, I got to go, because in my phone, typically when somebody calls, it'll tell me whether or not they're a pro member. And that's how I address that and deal with that.
Oh my God. So one of my local guys, Steve Michael Parva, said you can never join pro. Of course you can join pro. I never said you couldn't join pro. Come on.
That's the same. You know what? Even before I sold, I mean, I can tell you both, Ray and I have always helped people in our own backyards, even though it was people always thought, why would you help somebody that's there and they're taking business from you? So I have absolutely lost bids to people that I've helped. There's no question about that at all. But going back in a story a little bit is that I went out on a job or an estimate, and I gave the estimate, and only to find out that one of the guys that I helped grow his roof cleaning business here in my area was higher priced than I was. And I was like, dang. And the whole point of that was he was one of the guys that originally he would always send me his roof bids. he didn't want to get into roof cleaning because he didn't want to. So he would send all of his roof jobs to me. And then when he realized what I was making off the roof jobs, he was like, huh. And then he asked me, hey, would you kind of help me out here? Sure, why not? So look, even though he's a competitor and he, I've had some of the people that I help take jobs from me, they're also helping raise awareness and bring pricing up and all that, which helps me get jobs and get better paying jobs. So it all works out in the end.
So today I was actually on a bid at a.
How did Ray open the picture?
I was on a bid at a so now that I'm an employee of another corporation that I was on a bid of a large football stadium that may or may not be in my market whatsoever. It was crazy because I wound up talking to, there were 4 bidders there. And by the way, this will be a good segue into the free government, discussion that you're getting with the plant and property thing is always check the online bids. Last year, I told you, I think, what did I say? There was 13 or 14 bidders. This year, only 4 people showed up for the bid.
And Ray and I were talking about this earlier, and one of the things about it is, we were trying to figure out why it was that last year he had 13 bidders, and this year he only had 4. And Ray brought up a very good point, which is something I did wrong, and that is I was asked to bid on 6 buildings downtown Baton Rouge. And I went to the pre-bid meeting. I did everything I was supposed to do. At the end of it, I decided I'm not bidding on this because I was able to see what the bids were the last time. And I'm like, that's just too low. I'm not. And actually, the bid was $440,000, and it was just too low for the scope of what they wanted. And I didn't want to take that chance. I made a mistake in that. I still should have gone out. I still should have bid on that job. And there's lots of reasons.
Here's the irony of it. So last year, the winning bid was in the 30s. My bid was at $57,000. Okay. So the winning bid was in the 30s. My bid was at $57,000. And when I say 30, it's like 31. So I'm almost double what he was. Florida State wound up firing that contractor because they were not satisfied with the job they did. Okay. It was a 3-year job. They fired him after the first year. So understand these government jobs, even though you get the contract, if you suck at it, you're fired. Understand that. So now the bid is going out it's going up for bid again. So the 3-year contract will start all over again.
So next year's shooting.
Of 13, 14 bidders that were there last year. So there were only 4 of us that showed up this year. I'm trying to figure out, is that means that everybody was that busy, or did everybody assume that the $30,000 was the low benchmark and that's why it's going to suck and they won't do that? So I would say, first off, never assume, because if that is the case, never assume, because the 4 people that showed up this time were all in the very high 50s to mid 60s range. So the 4 of us that'll be competing for this bid were literally almost double of what the guy last year won it for. So
and you'd be surprised at how many times people that show up for a bid end up getting disqualified somewhere through the bid phase.
I'm sorry, there's so many comments coming in
There
on
are.
this.
It's hard to keep up with.
I can't even keep up. Kent Holmes made something and StreamYard won't let me like scroll back through it. So I don't know if you can still see it or not.
This one here. Is that the one you're talking about?
Today, told him I was saying with travel work, rest of the month, any roof calls pushing to him, work well together, even though we do compete. Can't absolutely, you know, and it would say, I don't want to say you learned that from me, but yeah, I mean, because you're a smart person. I literally send out more referrals a year than a lot of pressure washers make. Make friends with your local competition.
Absolutely.
Especially the big guys, you know.
Are the training videos included with pro membership? There are a lot of training videos and brochures and pamphlets and things inside the pro website. And then there's also some free classes with the within the courses section. And then all the other ones that are paid classes are 50% off for pro members. Just
anyway, Scott was talking about a rifle, so I'm gonna bring this up there. He assumed the AR-15. It's not an AR-15. This is actually an AR-10 here. That's the .308 caliber, the last one of the gun rack that I pulled out. So, yeah, that's not the AR-15. That's the .308. So something a little heavier than that, and that's got the ATN thermal on there. So, woo!
Hoorah! Hoorah!
Yeah.
I need to the price of freedom seeds, as we live in.
price
of freedom seeds bullets have really just gone through the roof, man. I'm telling you what, they've been incredible.
Yeah, the AR-10s are fun. I realized that after my shoulder surgery last year that I'm not quite ready to fire that. But yeah, this is an absolutely amazing gun. That's the ATN. It's not the thermal, but it's the night vision.
I
love it. They've come down substantially in price. You can read street signs in total darkness from about a block away.
Booyah!
Recommend that. You can see it in there.
Yep.
The Excite 4K ATN.
4K.
But again, this is all in long time ago, and a python swallowed this gun.
Yeah. It doesn't exist anymore. It's too bad you were showing them a picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
So. So let me ask you this. Landon Shagan had asked about coping techniques. And so, you know, if you look at it, and I think because you and I have very similar stories in how we got into this industry and how we got out of this industry, actually, but and not out of it, but out of our businesses, which you're still in. You're a slave. I'm not. But anyhow, so what are some of your coping techniques when just things are just going crap, you know, when things are just bad? Because I already know for a fact right now you've had some pretty bad stuff going on lately.
So also, Jim Leedy says, when am I posting Water Tower Part 2? Because, you know, in Spray Wash Pro, we have the video of Water Tower Part 1. This is one of the reasons it's so important to be a part of Spray Wash Pro. Because we sell, you understand, we sell classes, but if you're a part of Spray Wash Pro, there's some classes you absolutely get for free. You know, you can be Joe Blow and pay $1,000 for the Water Tower class, or you can be a part of Spray Wash Pro and
get it for free.
All free to you. So
we were actually, I'm going to cut in the middle of that, but we weren't able to do it because Ray was in the middle of selling his business and it threw a hiccup in it. But we were actually getting ready to do 2 hotel cleaning classes and a water tower class. And we were doing it free for pro members. You could come physically to the site and train there. Actually, I think we were charging $100. and the $100 was to cover some of the expenses. But so basically, we were doing that class for free for pro members. That didn't happen only because the thing came up with some
timing and the issues and all that. But since I did Water Tower 1, I've done 3 other water towers since then, and there's a bunch of knowledge that we'll share with that, because it is. And you know what? One of my biggest apologies, I'm sure one of your biggest apologies too, is that I'm actually busy. I mean, I understand. I'm not just a guy who's going, yeah, I've sold my business years ago and blah, blah, blah. And I go and visit people. I understand I'm still working this thing. And I closed on spray wash. Tanya and I sold spray wash on was it May 1? We're now 45 days into the transition. We still have contractual obligations, but we still work it every day. And then the one thing here's an interesting thing, Doug. You and I'll talk about this because I'm not pointing out anybody's names at all. And Jim, I tell you what, it'll happen as soon as it happens. As soon as I have time to absolutely do it, and I will post it in the Spray Wash Pro Facebook group and say it's out there.
I can tell you sometimes, I mean, our intentions are really good and honorable, and we try to get things done in a certain time frame sometimes, but then life does get in the way. Not that that's a good excuse sometimes, but
horrible. Especially if you're a member and you've paid money, but it's a horrible excuse. I mean,
so most things we're saying, look, probably about 6 months. I mean, I have no idea on that section of that class. Hopefully that'll come out sooner. But we're trying to get all of it for you, and in as timely a time frame as we can. I don't think that sounds right, but that's what I'm going with. So anyhow. But we are trying to get that done. So
the good news is you actually get to live life in our real time as we're actually living our life, and understand that where I was going here's where I was going a minute ago. I had somebody made a comment to me on a private discussion not too long ago. You and I have talked about this privately, and he's like, well, yeah. If you're grossing $1 million a year, I don't understand why you'd ever sell your business. I don't know why you'd ever sell your business, because then it becomes a cash cow. And at that point, I learned that I realized that person had never done $1 million a year business, even though he sets himself up. You would think from what all he posts, he's $1 million a year guy. If you've never run $1 million a year business, you don't understand the taxation it literally takes on your world. I mean, Doug, you've been there. You've been very, if not you, if you weren't there, you saw it. You're literally like, you saw it. You're here and it's right here.
Yeah.
It's not you don't understand unless you've been there. You don't understand it.
There's actually a lot that goes into a lot of this, and some guys think, oh man, the next thing you do is you go ahead and you get off the truck and you hire 5 sales guys and you get 13 guys out in the field, and then you got 3 people in the office, and then you get to go on vacation. Yeah, some people can do that, but that's not the reality for.
And I'll tell you, an owner,
businesses
on your ass, and it's still weighing on you every day. And whenever somebody doesn't show up, guess what? You're filling in for them, or you're having to call the people and say, oh, there's a problem, because it's not like, the $1 million a year business. It's not just like, oh, I'm doing $1 million a year. you're booked out for a month, 2 months at a time. You're not booked out at $80,000, $90,000 a month without problems.
Mhm.
Weather happens, sickness
All
happens,
kinds of problems.
people quit, people's families get sick. I mean, there's blah, 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 blah. Sure, you could have a backup crew, but what happens to you? What hurts you the most of all in this business is non-income producing people.
Mhm.
I mean, sure, you've got a mechanic sitting there, and I'll make a difference. I'll make a differentiation. $1 million business between a $2 million business is a big damn difference. Now, all of a sudden, but I'll tell you what, the $2 million business is probably only grossing $350,000 with a lot more liability.
Yeah, a lot more liability as you move up in the ranks. And with everything, everybody's got their own businesses, their own business models, their own profit margins, their own, everything. But as you go, and this is something we've talked about dozens of times, and that is, as a single owner operator, your profit margins typically up there around 75%. Okay.
Exactly.
Once you start adding trucks, your profit margin starts to go down. Once you start adding office staff, it goes down.
I've always said my most profitable time in the world was whenever I ran the 2 trucks. Tanya worked with me, and we did it out of our house. I mean, we were 50%. It was amazing, Mm-hmm. So hold on, one thing. Baz said, look, vacation, St. Thomas, the way to go. Actually, we just booked St. Thomas for Tanya's birthday again. We're spending 10 days in St. Thomas. Love St. Thomas. Went there last year. Amazing.
And just to make sure the record's straight, I wasn't invited again.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. But you know what? TJ was. So,
there you go.
Right.
Yeah, but we know. But we know a lot.
You know what? No, there's really not, because you know what? There's so much information in there. You can't demo Spray Wash Pro. You're either a member or you're not a member.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a dick about that, but you are.
I'm 7 months into my business.
There's Spray Wash Pro members that say it wasn't worth it. So,
look, I don't. So look, here's an advantage with Spray Wash Pro as well. You can join Spray Wash Pro for $199 and then $49 a month. Okay, so there's your trial right there. It's a $199 trial, and then it's $49 a month from there. And you can get that by going to that link down below there. Where's that? Right there. Yeah. It says courses.spraywashacademy.com. Right there, $199. If you don't find the value at $199, I would be flipping amazed within your first month. And then $49, I just, again, I'm biased, but there's so much information inside there that's free. Not just the paid stuff, because there's definitely stuff you got to pay for, but
on there.
Yeah. If you can't find it, you're not looking, I guess, is where my point is.
Any good recommendation on insurance providers? I used, I remember either a Century.
Well, let's qualify that first, right? What type of insurance?
Yeah.
Because there's not just one type of insurance. You need you've got to have your workers' comp, your general liability, and then also your commercial liability insurance for your vehicle.
Commercial vehicle liability.
Three different layers of insurance right there. And then you should be looking at an umbrella policy. Yeah. So got to kind of qualify what type of insurance.
You realize that at our level, and we're that $1 million a year level, we're paying $12,000-$15,000 a year in insurance. I mean, we're not looking for the cheapest insurance. We're looking for the best insurance.
Yeah, I figured out I was paying.
Jason, Jason's about to leave. Jason, wait a minute. Wait. So part of our day of education Jason just said that, and we have to hit this with him. Part of our day of education at the huge convention. So we've got the basics. We've got, we wound up yakking the whole time here. We've got the basics in the morning. And this is, if you don't know squat about squat, you want to get into it, we're going to teach you the basics of soft washing and roof cleaning. Then we have our plant and property. Then we are going to do, at the end of the day, we're going to do a happy hour for pro members.
Pro only.
Pro only. And Jason is going to talk about rig building. That is Jason's passion. And it's Jason
really good.
From basic rig building, intermediate to pro. What do you need to worry about in a rig building? And we are so excited. This is a class that we will sell, but we are literally using this to develop it, to develop this whole course. Where does it need to go? I mean, do I need to buy a trailer? Do I need to build a trailer? What's important to me whenever I step away from the trailer? What's important to me whenever I'm a pro level guy? All those things. And
I'm going to tell you what, if you're a lady and you don't get a hard on from Jason's rigs, there's something wrong with you, man. They are sexy and functional. So it'll be a pleasure to have him there with us.
That's one of the things that we, you and I have always talked about. There's these guys out there that are selling rigs and that are selling this and selling that. I mean, again, pressure washing is the new gold rush.
Mm-hmm.
So many guys don't understand, and I love the guys out there, and they have their YouTube channels and they have their Facebook forums. And first off, they're going, "Oh, look what I've done! I mean, I've hooked up a remote ball valve to a 12 volt, or not a 12 volt, but a gas roof pump." Well, guess what, Gomer? I literally bought one of those. Oh, and from a homemade proportioner too. But I bought one with a real proportioner 5 years ago from the Power Wash store.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many guys, and people don't understand this. There's so many new people getting into this industry. They don't understand the proportioner. They don't understand the history of the business. They go
where any of it came from.
They go into these groups that are essentially click funnels from a guy working out of their garage who's got a soap called, I've got my Southern Bubba soap here. And it's soap world.
Gain. Let's go with Gain.
It's effing soap. It's soap. But they use, or they have a guy that they go in there and they click on a thing going, I've got the biggest group on Facebook. And turns out all it is a guy who's trying to sell you Facebook marketing. He'll send you messages going, hey, I can make your business explode doing Facebook marketing. I guess that's one of the things that,
and you know what? Speaking about that, Ray,
we're kind of stupid at that we've not sat there and upsold things, because you know what? You and I aren't SEO experts. We'll talk about SEOs. We've had several chats about SEOs on here, but we're not going to sit there and go, oh, we're going to do your Facebook ads for X number of dollars a month, because you know what? We know what works for us. We know what we've done. But we're not going to sit there and try to sell you that and sell you things.
Let me ask you something, Ray.
There's so many bad actors out there on Facebook that people don't realize what they're watching are essentially click funnels.
Let me ask you something, Ray.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of these guys out there, right? And they are posting about how they're saying just that. I am going to make your business explode, right?
Yep.
So let me ask you this. If there is this guy out there that is making businesses just go boom, and now they're making $4 million a year because they hired this guy, because they exploded, right, from hiring this guy, then why aren't we seeing more of those? Because I can tell you right now, if I could pay somebody to make my business literally just go boom, and you can show me and prove to me, man, I'm all over that. I mean, I'm getting into this whole stock market thing, losing my butt. I mean, doing really good. And so I mean, and there's all these ads that pop up and say, we can take you to that next level and boom and boom, boom. Okay, show me that, right? You can't, because there's a lot of hard work involved here. And it's not something that look, somebody can, I'm going to go down this road. I can do some things SEO wise, advertising wise, that's going to make my phone ring like absolutely freaking crazy, right? That doesn't mean that if I still have to have the guys in place, I still have to implement, I still have to have my processes and my systems in place, if you would. I have to have all these things that can make me go to that next level. Somebody else can't do that for me. They can help me get extra business. They can help me make my phone ring to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, it's still whoever's driving that car is the one that's going to crash it.
No, nobody can do it for you.
Nope.
Do not ever, ever, ever believe anything. I mean, you know, Doug, you and I have said it so many times. I can't make you successful.
Nope.
I can give you tools. I can tell you what we did, but you might be a complete asshole. You might be the worst guy in the world. You might be there's no, but here's what it is. Let's say that you are the worst people person in the world, right?
There's a way to fix that.
There's a way around that. But you might be the smartest business guy in the world. You might be the smartest numbers guy in the world. So now you guys hire the best salesperson. Mm-hmm. You pay them well. You let your brain work with that salesperson. Boom, you've got something that works. That's why I love and I hate this business. But that's why you don't buy a book that says pressure washing, this is how you be successful, because what works for you might not work for bingo.
You. Yeah.
And you know, and my prices are different than your prices, and your prices are, I mean, I know you and I have discussed price where you're like, oh my God, how do you succeed at prices like that?
Because I am way more expensive than Ray is, but
yes,
you know, a lot of it, and this is something Ray and I preach and teach all the time. There are so many things that are area specific that when you're listening to one person saying, "Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that," I was just talking to somebody today. He was spraying some siding. The siding all turned brown on him. But anyhow, and in part of our discussion was about how, you know, he has some friends up in the Northeast, and they're talking about how they don't have to do all the plant and property protection, and they don't tape off electrical and all that. But one of the differences is they're dealing with some of the newer houses that are all vinyl sided, and they got J channel around everything. If it's installed correctly and you've got vinyl siding and J channels and recess this and all, yeah, you can do a lot of that stuff that you don't necessarily, that I could never get away with in my area. Couldn't do it, no matter what. Stucco and brick and old receptacles and, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's no way I could get away with that.
Well, you know, I think you and I both, I had such a nice young pro member discuss. I had a great 2-hour conversation with a pro member this weekend, and he's from Utah. I think he talked to you as well. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, you know. And
I'm proud of that young man.
We're in a different market. We're in a different world. I mean, it's you're not literally take what we talk about soft washing and throw it out the window, because You're washing dirt and dust off of places. You're washing biological stains. If you're doing commercial, people dumping coffee and spitting gum out. You're not washing green algae nastiness off of places.
Difference. And you know that I'm really proud of that young man. What is he? 20 years old.
Yeah, I love him. I love him.
He reminds me of Landon White. I mean, you know, young guy that just. I mean,
yeah, out of Arkansas. Oh God, I love him.
So I'm thrilled to see somebody that young doing what it is that they're doing, and not only that, but he's looking towards the future. And looking towards the future to me is super important. Like we've said before, it's not necessarily about you know, whether you're building your business to sell, but you should still build your business as if you're going to sell, because the steps are virtually the same and the outcome is virtually the same. It's just whether or not you sell your business or you don't sell your business. That's it.
Yeah. Build your business as a business. You know, I still remember Gary Hampton. And I love Gary Hampton, and I think Gary Hampton has the I Wash Jacks. You know, good guy, such a good guy. And he was like, yeah, I was getting in the business, and you know, there's a guy who's like trying to sell me his business over here. He's like, oh, I want, you know, I'm making up numbers, $250,000 for it, and he's like, he could only show like $85,000 a year. And he's like, but most of that was cash money. I'll tell you what, if you guys, and Doug and I are going to do a class on this. I don't know what it'll cost. It may be free to pro members. It doesn't matter, because we both sold. You realize we both lived literally the American dream.
And we both started with squat.
No, literally, we both less than squat. But run your business like a business, guys. That's the most important thing in the world.
You know, I would venture to say, and this is going to sound like an ego for me, but it's not an ego thing. I can say that in today's day and age, if I were to open up a new company, which first of all, I can't, I'm contractually not allowed to. But if I were, I could retake the market here again. And I could move to Tallahassee and I could take the market in Tallahassee. Okay. I could move to wherever, and I can take the market.
You couldn't take the market in Tallahassee is because I'm contractually obligated not to for 3 years myself. But yes, you're right.
But the point of it being
just taping off outlets and other electronics is landing me a whole neighborhood. And you know, understand there's guys that say, oh, well, this is bullcrap and this is extra money and this is blah blah blah. But understand the customers that you want actually care about plant and property protection. The people that give a crap about it care about.
And it's the people who are willing to pay for it. That's why when I'm saying I can take the market, part of it is because I mean it's a mindset, number one, but number two, it is about that plant and property.
I gotta take this out. Go ahead.
We're beyond an hour anyhow, and normally we try to keep these down to about an hour, so I'll probably end up cutting this off. I want to make sure I get any questions taken care of that are still there. So let me just kind of thumb through real quick. Yep, we still tape from being Christmas light installers. We know how easy it is to pop outlets. And there you go. Yeah. And restoration, amen to that. Let's see. I send my plant and property protection certificate in every single estimate. Absolutely, you should do that. Plant and property has increased our average ticket. And part of that too is just like I've said probably 1,000 times over, the certificate that you get is worth nothing. It's worth zero. It's worth zilch, nothing. okay, if you don't use it. The education that you get is worth zero. It's worth nothing if you don't use it, right? You have to use what you learn. You have to, if you don't use that certification, if you don't send that certification with you, with every single estimate, you're not using it to its full capability, and you're losing potential jobs. Because I can tell you, when you look at something if you go online and you look at reviews, or you look at companies nowadays, do you look at reviews? Do you look at what their qualifications are? We do that nowadays, right? So make sure that you're posting them on your website. Make sure that you are sending them with your estimates. Make sure you're sending your insurances out. Everything that you do can help you build your business that much further. Had a customer tell me she never had someone tape off and pre-wet and pre-rinse plants, was highly impressed and thankful. You know, on something like that, that's somebody that can still forget your name. You have to remember that, okay? She's gonna be like, oh, I was so impressed with that guy, but I can't remember who it was. Don't let that happen to you, Jason. So send some before and afters, do some follow-up with her, like every, say, 4 months, you know, get a system in place that you can follow up with her. And for me, the biggest part of that, those before and after pictures are going to help her to always remember, because now she, oh, who was it that did that? Back to the pictures, and now she knows who did it. When a kept woman has nothing else to do, her plants are all she has. Over $250 just for her. Protecting that is primary. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you what, one of the things about plant and property that I think is and he's clarifying here that he meant to be $250,000. One of the things that I looked at in doing the plant and property class, we had a niece that passed away. She was 14 years old when she passed away. And at the funeral, people send flowers and they send plants as gifts, okay? And we would be devastated if that plant were to be killed, okay? And so it is a very important plant to us for what it represents. We also have plants that were given to us when my daughter was born and when my son was born. So those plants are very meaningful to us. And that's why for us, it's important to make sure that they are kept safe. And those are things that you promote and you preach and you teach and you explain to, and you ask the questions of. That's one of the things I'll say is, if you're not asking if there's anything important or special or unique, that's something that you should be doing, okay? Especially if they bring it up and they say, yes, that plant right there, we planted that, my great-grandfather planted that when, you know, he was a boy, or whatever it was. Talk about that specific thing and talk about what you're going to do to protect that. Write it down so that you or your techs know to take care of that when you come back for it. That's going to sell you more jobs right there than you could ever even imagine. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
Hey, no, I'm back. Sorry.
I was about to cut you out.
Dealing with night crew. Sorry.
No, that's all right. We've been at it for an hour, almost an hour and a half. So, hey, I can keep going, though. If people want to keep going, we can keep going. I don't care.
Oh, we can keep going. I'm here. I'm sorry. Just I had a little night crew.
Then let's keep going.
No woman.
When we get down to 0, we'll quit. How's that?
Oh, yeah. I love it. Employee number 3. No,
he's employee number 7.
Number 7, damn it.
Yeah. Don't get his employee number wrong. He is employee number 7.
You're absolutely so Herndon's saying advertising for your neighborhood. You don't understand. This is where the people don't realize, this is where the extra mile, the customers you want work. They will pass you around like a whore in church. I mean, it's a horrible example, but yes, they will. I mean, whenever you're the guy that's amazing, they will.
And that's why I said too about those before and after pictures. You share those before and after pictures with your customer. They share them with their friends and their family and that kind of thing. They are going to share you around like that cheap $3 hook.
100%.
All right, one more time about the huge convention, right? Okay, so we're going to do the basics. If you're brand new to this industry and you're looking to learn how to get started, and or you're into it maybe the first year and you're still kind of iffy about some things, the basics class, we're going to go over roof cleaning, house washing. We're going to go over the basics of soft washing and roof cleaning. Then from there, we'll move into the plant and property protection class. That class right there, you will also get the online version of the class, plus you'll get the free government sales class. And then we're going to move into something I think is very special for pro members only. We will have some free drinks to go along with it, a little bit of a happy hour for the pro members. And Jason Ayers is going to be one of our special instructors there, talking about building rigs, going over some of the aspects of building rigs from, the starter up to the pro level. It'll probably won't be too much on the starter level, but mid to pro level of the stuff. Probably what we'll do is we'll have Jason on maybe next week, and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll do a three-way or something. Yeah. So, here's a question: what is the best follow-up method to clients you watched 12 months ago? Okay, you should always.
You've already number one done that.
First off, they should never be 12 months ago. Right. You should be contacting them quarterly. They should be your friends. You should be sending them newsletters. You should be creating a newsletter about home improvement tips, about landscaping tips, about all these little wonderful things you can do around your house. They obviously give a crap about how their house looks. You should send them articles on Glia Capsamagma from what's the word I'm looking for, Doug? Damn it, the not the roof cleaning, it's the one that the Arma. Yes, you should be sending them tips from them. You should sign up for something like oh gosh, what's the one we're a member of? Articles about and make a little home cleaning blog that you send them out in a newsletter quarterly.
Look, it doesn't even have to be from you. You can reach out to a local nursery. You can reach out to an electrician. You can reach out to a plumber. You can reach out to a gardener. You can reach out to somebody that does knitting. I mean, you can reach out to somebody that is an avid fisherman to write articles for you. They're going to do that knowing that they get in front of your customer base to be able to do that. Cajun Soft Wash put one out that was about, oh man, now I can't remember. And I thought Matt, the new owner of Cajun Soft Wash, I thought he did a brilliant job in some of what he's done with the newsletter. So, man, it doesn't have to just be you putting out that content. You can utilize others to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can literally make it if you want to go in, you can even charge other people for your newsletter. Say, I have a customer list of 1,000 people paying me $25 a month to post your articles on my newsletter.
Mm-hmm. To put an advertisement on my newsletter.
Absolutely. Somebody with the largest landscaping company, the largest grass care company, the largest termite, the gutter company. I mean, all those guys you can, and I'm not saying like use it but well, you could if you wanted.
No, but you just touched on something that I think is really important, right? So the termite barrier, right? So here in the South, I mean, it's one of the things I talk about, termite barriers, right? So why not try to create a relationship between yourself, your company, and the companies that do the termite barriers? Yeah. Because I can tell you, I've had customers that say to me, well, yeah, but I talked to my termite guy and he said this is going to ruin my termite barrier and all this kind of stuff. So why not only talk to that termite company, talk to them about your process, ask them if they would like to be a part of your newsletter, and build that relationship with them to get past that.
Literally, I'm not putting bleach in your Centricon. I mean, like, I'm putting water on your Centricon. I'm putting rain on your Centricon. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody, I don't know who this is, MailChimp. I use Constant Contact. But yes. Why would you not be contacting your people constantly?
Yeah, and email to me is going to be the best way to do it, simply because with email you can reach everybody. They can sign up for it. You can use MailChimp or Constant Contact or any one of those. And it's just, to me, it's just a better way of doing it. It's going to cost you a heck of a lot less than trying to send something via snail mail or anything of that nature. Another thing that you can do is keep up with them quite a bit, like through Facebook, social media. If you don't already have a YouTube channel, I really encourage you to do that. And I encourage you to post before and afters and videos. Some of these videos are really taking off where they're using the drones and all that. Just remember that does require a license for the drone usage for commercial purposes, that kind of thing. But you can hire that out. There's so much that can be done. But I would say email is probably one of the better ways. Same thing with, like, if you've got a blog or a vlog, blog being typed out written stuff, vlog being a video type of a blog, that kind of thing. So, and here it is. So would you recommend doing a blog post as well? Yes, not only do I recommend a blog, but I also recommend the vlog, right? And I can tell you that for Cajun Soft Wash, one of the things that I found to be absolutely amazing was the video that I had on the very front page of my website. I had so many comments on that video. So I encourage you to put videos on. I encourage you to do maybe some frequently asked questions type things, video-wise, that personalizes you to them, so that when you go to their house and you meet with them, it's like they already know you. It's one of the problems, honestly, that we run into, like when we go to conventions. People will come up and say, "Oh, hey, Ray, how are you?" And you're like, "I'm doing great." But
good. Hey, you.
Because we're dealing with a little tiny picture sometimes, And hey, David Flipping's in the house now.
But understand, they know you. You may not know them, but they know.
Exactly. And that's the important part, is that you've built a relationship with them already, because they already know you. And that, who do people buy from? They buy from people they know, people they like, people they trust.
I love blog posts. I mean, that was actually one of the things whenever I have my web designer, and I said, I want to make sure that, because whenever you're on a website, you can actually tell Google what parts of the website to crawl. I want to crawl the home page 10 times out of 10. And eventually, when they crawl the home page 10 times out of 10 and nothing changes, they say, yeah, screw you. There's nothing different here. But you can say, I want my blog post crawled 10 times out of 10. They realize that changes twice a month. Now, all of a sudden, Google goes, oh, wow, this is new content that keeps coming in. So we're going to pay attention to it.
Especially if it gets any kind of engagement. So do encourage engagement on your blogs or your vlog posts.
Mm-hmm. And Rich is right. You get a commercial drone license. Drones are so good. They're so good for videos. Oh my God, they're amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's your Part 107
license test, but
I still haven't gotten mine. But see, I want to go for the powered parachute license, and I want to go for the CFI.
Although sell that relationship before you go out and bid that, absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. Guys, understand, this is so much about relationships. I just can't understand. I can't explain enough how much. It's not about low price. It's not about.
And we preach that all the time.
It's about the relationships. Mm-hmm. And is the relationship about what you've learned on plant and property? It might be.
Right.
Is the relationship about who you've met with a hospital guy and they know you're always going to be there? Yeah, probably is. The relationship is about the relationship.
Kobe,
And
we were talking about you earlier, just so you know.
A relationship could take 6 months to develop. A relationship could take 5 minutes to develop.
And that's the thing. It can take 5 years to build a relationship with somebody. I can tell you, there's times you'll try to get into a job and they won't have you. They won't talk to you. They won't anything. And what happens is we tend to just give up, right? We just give up. I've been to that place 3 times and they won't even give me the time of day, right? So we give up. Once you give up, you have zero chance. Zero.
Bingo.
Right? Building a relationship can happen in the first 30 seconds, and it can take 30 years to build a good, strong relationship. So you've got to keep at it. And that's all what this is about. And I can tell you that, building relationships is, you don't have to be one of my big holdbacks in building relationships in my area, especially. I used to be into the football thing, and I'm just not. So I don't talk football. I don't talk baseball, right? And that's a hard thing in my area. So I have to find other ways to build relationships with people. But if you're into those things, that makes it super easy for you. Just saying. Everybody talks
about a pro member and one of my local competitors, Henry. Yes, Henry, I just told you how to make $1 million company and you missed it, buddy. I'm sorry.
Man, yeah, it's too bad. And it was, Henry, we were specifically speaking about you and how you could turn your business into $1 million. But one of the things that we'll do for you, Henry, is if you'll send us $7.99, we will send you an excerpt of this.
Exactly. You know what? Henry is a young man, and literally Henry is a pro member. Henry never had his ass on his shoulders. I'm not going to pay my. Henry is a young man, and he's one of those guys that the Gen Z, whatever the Gen X, the younger generation, he truly inspires me, and I realize there is hope left in this company. Mm-hmm. And there's a list up on my manager's wall of about 5 people that we send referrals to, and we send referrals to Henry on the reg. I think today there were 2 sent to him because we could not handle the job in the time they expected it to be. So what you're saying is that Henry built a relationship with you, you built a relationship with Henry, and that's been beneficial to both of you. Exactly. You know what? Don't piss off your local competitors. And Henry's going to go far in this world. Henry is going to be the next spray wash in Tallahassee. I can honestly say that, he's a good guy. I love this remark here too from Kobe on that giving up remark. For me, giving up is way harder than trying. Absolutely. Absolutely. When you give up, you have no idea what you're actually giving up. I can't really say that, the R word that I want to. What did Alan say? I've been trying to pick up a bank client. I go there every other month. Each time I get closer and closer. They do in-house cleaning, but I'm going to change that. That is an attitude. Bingo. I love that. I've told the story many times, but it literally took Tanya a year, maybe a year and a half of going into our TMH, our Tallahassee Memorial client, of saying, we want to work with you. We want to work with you. I mean, it may have been once a month. It may have been once every 3 months or so. And eventually he said, do this sidewalk. That was the cleanest sidewalk in Tallahassee. That's now a $200,000 a year client for us. Mm-hmm. It took Tanya over a year of going in there and touching them, about touching them. You know what? Don't give up. Don't be a lowballing hack. It's not about the lowest price. Understand, it is not about the lowest price.
I'm going to go one further with Alan on that. One of our clients that look, one of our best clients, they would not let us clean their concrete. They just wouldn't. They did all their concrete in-house. They screwed stuff up royally all the time. It took me forever. And look, one of the ways that I got them, I continually, every time I went to one of their properties, I would take pictures of damage that was caused by their guys. Okay. Because they would buy a new pressure washer. They wouldn't get rid of the red tip. They would leave it on there. So they would have these red tip marks everywhere. They had their guys run surface cleaners and they had surface cleaner marks everywhere. And so there was all this damage that they were creating. And it took me about 4 years, I think, of just continuously, not belittling, not berating, not whatever. It took me 3 years, I think. I finally got him to where they would literally throw away the red tip. He would literally throw it away when they bought their new pressure washers. But then all of a sudden I get the phone call from him, $80,000 a year, basically, give or take a little bit more, a little bit less, okay, in concrete cleaning from them. Okay, let's have you guys start doing our concrete cleaning. 80 grand, like I said, might be 70 this year, might be 95 the next year. So I'm calling it in the middle at 80 grand. Don't give up. Okay, and that took about 4 years for me to get that. Might even been 5 before I finally got to where, boom, now I got their concrete. We got it forever. Matter of fact, Cajun Soft Wash is out doing concrete right now for them. So
it's funny. I just thought of something. You made me think about something. So I wrote this note down. You can't read that because I'm sure it's backwards. When we first started talking about this whole add-on thing, and for the guys that are just added on, remember, go to coursesspraywashacademy.com, the banner at the bottom. Also, I'm going to say the other thing, Spray Wash Academy, if you want to sign up for the huge convention. But I heard a hilarious, absolutely a hilarious comment on, because I go into some of the forums every now and then and listen to them and I'll make comments. But there was a comment made in one of the forums, and this is a forum that is literally it's a click funnel for a guy who's trying to sell Facebook advertising. You know, he used to say, "Oh, if you want to make $30,000 a month," and again, I'll eat this hat if he's ever actually made consistently $30,000 a month, because he has it with his DeWalt / Simpson pressure washer. But somebody said, "What is soft washing?" I heard a guy who did 350 houses a year say they make tips for that. Guys, understand, 350 houses a year is a busy month. It's not a good year. I mean, I know that in Facebook world you can be anything you want to be, but there's so many click funnels out there, and this is mainly for the new guys that are watching. Understand that you may be into a click funnel. Doug and I really don't care if you join Spray Wash Pro or not. If you join Spray Wash Pro, we're here to help you. Mm-hmm. But we really don't care. I mean, we do this because we love it. We love the industry. But understand, please you understand where you're getting your information from. 350 houses a year is one house a day with holidays off. Doug, weren't you and your crews doing about 8 or 9 houses a day, if not 10?
You know what? Our houses here are a little bit different. So No, typically my crews would do one house a day, but I'm much better at saying. So they would do the roof, the house, the driveway, and whatever else we could fit in to be able to stay there for an entire day. So that's typically, we're doing anywhere from 3 to 6 houses in a day a lot of times.
Yeah, that per crew.
Correct.
Yeah.
So sometimes it might be one house. Sometimes they might do 2.
Per crew.
Per crew, correct.
So some guy is sitting there going, "Oh, well, a guy who told me he did 350 houses a year, but you're doing 1,200 houses a year because you have 3 and 4 crews working."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know what the actual number is. I should, but first of all, I don't have my stuff in front of me where I could even do that anymore because I don't even have access to it anymore. I guess I could go back to my old stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, look, that's one thing I will say about what Ray and I have done here is pretty much a lot of what we've done has been right here. It's been in front of everybody. We haven't hidden anything. We show our trucks rolling out. We show our trucks rolling in. We've been out to jobs doing live streams where y'all can see it, that it's real. It's happened. It's not just hearsay. And you're not going to see that from me anymore, though you will see. I intend to go out and do some lives with the Cajun Soft Wash crew.
I my lives. I mean, I probably shouldn't be doing them with the new company, but you know what? I still do it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I did it this weekend.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Anyhow.
Yeah, dear Lord. So we're almost 2 hours into this. So I guess
almost 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Amazing, huh? So look, but I do want to say, Bad says, would you lower the price for reoccurring maintenance on residential? Well, residential is kind of tough. And the reason that I say that is because typically it requires the same work, whether it's dirty or not. I mean, that's the problem. There's still the same taping off.
It depends on the frequency. Yes. And if they're, you know what, if you want to give them a 10% discount, why not? It's 10%. I mean,
if it's every year though, I would offer something small like 10%. Yeah. But if it's every 4 months maybe, or then
I mean, there are houses we do once a quarter.
Yep.
They get a 25% discount because I'm literally knocking off non-existent crap on the house.
Yeah, we've got one client that is. Their house wash is, I'm going to try to remember the price. I think it's like $38.90 something. Okay. So almost $4,000 for their house wash. And their house is nasty every year. And it's this massive complex, right? It's this big house. And so I guess probably 2 years ago, we were out there and they're like, you know what? We need to start doing this twice a year. Right on. I mean, I felt so stupid and so small because I didn't offer it to him, because I'm thinking, oh my God, this is $4,000 for a freaking house wash. They're never going to do this twice a year. That's stupidity on my part. They wanted me to approach them and say, hey, can you do this twice a year? And I didn't.
Understand, we don't get part of we have self-limiting behavior. Self-limiting behavior. I have multiple customers that I do 4 times a year. I told BB Hernan the other day, he was on live, and I said, I make so much money cleaning clean houses that it's not even funny.
Absolutely.
You're yawning.
And they're easier to do.
You're yawning. You just yawned at me.
If you haven't been paying attention, I yawn every single live. Dude, I'm telling you what, this past 2 months, I'm exhausted every single day.
Dude, yeah. Trust me, I know.
Somebody earlier in the stream said it's time to cut it off. Doug's yawning. I was yawning in the first 10 minutes.
So anyway,
it's not because I'm boring and Ray is boring.
I want everybody to understand what we're talking about is the huge convention. First off, go to the huge convention. I don't know if the spray wash discount codes still work or not.
Yeah, spray wash, capital letter spray wash. I believe it does work, but I believe it only works with single ticket sales.
Okay.
I don't think it works on multiple sales.
Other part is, if you want some of this whole plant and property protection loving, go there.
We're going to put up links for the plant and property protection class. We're going to put up links for the basics class, and we're going to put up a sign up for pro members only for the rig building and after hours happy hour class that we're going to do at the huge convention on the 18th of August. Be there.
Yes, absolutely.
And those links will go up on www.plantandpropertyprotection.com. They will also be on the Facebook Spray Wash Academy page, the huge convention page. I believe they're going to be on there, and they're also going to be on the pro page and they'll be on them.
And guys, you know what? Let me give you, first off, I want to give you a personal apology. We're tired. Doug and I are both still working our asses off. I mean, I know we sold our company. There's a whole lot of extra stuff that goes with selling your company that you guys will probably never understand until you sell your company. We're going to do a class on selling your company. Mm-hmm. It's not just, somebody doesn't just give you a check for $500,000 or $1 million and say, oh, see ya, bye. It's not, it doesn't work that way, you know?
And also
the American dream. I mean, this is what we've worked for. This is what we earned for, you know?
There are some other things too that we should be able to announce, or I should be able to, because they're more on my side than Ray's side. Should be able to announce hopefully within the next 30 days. I'm hoping that'll explain too why some of it's been really busy on my end, and you see Ray's lives and why he's busy on his end. So we're not getting to things as quickly as we'd like to sometimes. What's that?
So because I shoot things a lot.
Yeah, there you go. He has to keep it locked up because his wife butts him with the rifles. Pow!
She really does. She hurt me.
Yeah. She is mean, rotten, nasty. Didn't she just walk in? I think she can hear us now, right?
She did. Did you hear her?
I gotta pick on her when I know she's around, right?
Exactly.
So anyhow. Alan Paul said, do you have a sign up prior? I believe that he's talking about for the huge convention. Yes, we will. All of those will be up here shortly. Should have them up tomorrow for you. I think some of them, if not all of them, we'll get them up for you.
Prior to
the huge is what I'm assuming.
Right here. It should be right there now.
So that will get you, but that's only the link for the plant and property, correct?
No, that is that's a link for
all of them.
For the basics. Okay. That is a link for plant and property and for Jason's class too, if you're a pro member.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Just so you know, though, if you are a pro member, you get 50% off of the classes, right? So reach out to me, Doug at spraywashacademy.com, and we'll get you taken care of with being able to get the classes done there. So.
And Alan is asking questions. If you're a member already prior, absolutely you get the discount, 50%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, reach out to me for that, Alan. Doug at spraywashacademy.com, and or post it in on the pro group and I will post a link in there for you guys, and we'll get that taken care of, because everything is going to be half price, like we said, for all pro members. So $4.99 plant and property protection class for non-pro members, half price for pro members, whatever half of $4.99 is.
And if you want to sign up for pro, hold on, let me put it's going around the bottom right now.
Horses.spraywashacademy.com.
Yeah, sign up for pro right there. Oh, sorry. There it is.
Yeah, Ray needs the abuse from Tanya. Just saying, he needs it. It's what keeps him in line. It's what keeps him healthy and straight.
Yeah, Tanya hurts me.
Yeah. That's it. That's all there is to it. I'm waiting for the 2x4 to hit you on the back of the head.
She's smart enough to not do that online. But
yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good night. We're on 2 hours. Wash on.
Wash on, y'all. Appreciate you.
See ya. Bye.